Oh, phenomenal, phenomenal. This list is
Ah.
beautiful today.
It's a short list. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
And Your Honor, if I may, Mr. Randy Grijalva, they're telling me he's at downtown court, I believe.
Okay, so we'll roll him to, well, okay. We'll roll him to tonight. Thank you. All
Mr. Medina will be here in a second.
right. Hi, Morgan.
Good morning. Did you upload the PC statements, or who does that? Because onto SharePoint, because I didn't see them.
I don't do the PC statements,
Yeah.
but they are on there.
Okay, I can't get them because I have no internet back here.
Sure. Sure. Let me forward them to you.
It's all right. It's too late. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go with that. Thank you. What is your name?
Adrian.
Adrian? Adrian what?
Medina.
Morning, sir. Tell me your name.
Adrian Medina.
Mr. Medina, you were here today on a warrant out of Justice Court. The charges are first-degree murder, attempt to commit armed robbery, and attempt to commit aggravated robbery. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. Today, I'm going to appoint the Legal Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services on this matter. I've also reviewed the warrant. There is a $1 million bond that is being requested on the warrant. I've had a chance to review the state's recommendation. Counsel, the other thing I will be doing today is pursuant to ARS Section 8-305D. There's factors that the court will be reviewing to determine whether or not Mr. Medina should be held at the Pima County Jail or detained at the juvenile court facility. So if you want to state positions one way or the other on that, please do that at the time you make any other recommendations. So from the state, like I said, have had a chance to review your recommendation. It is the court's intention to hold Mr. Medina on $1 million bond. Anything you'd like to add?
Nothing further in addition to the dangerousness for the state, Your Honor, and for the community. The state doesn't have a position on where the defendant is housed at this time.
Ms. Priestman?
We don't have a position on bond, Judge, but he would like to be housed at the juvenile facility.
All right, Mr. Medina, I am going to hold you on a $1 million cash or secured bond today. If for some reason you do post that bond, then you'd be released to pretrial services. If you do get released, you have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you are not allowed to have any firearms. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim's family in this case. Do not return to the incident location or anywhere near where those family members may be living or working. I do find under the factors of 8-305D, considering all 9, that the most appropriate place for Mr. Medina to be housed at this time is at the Pima County Jail, not the Juvenile Detention Center. Mr. Medina, your next court hearing is going to be May 27th at 1:30. That is a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you're expected to show up at all future court dates. And if you fail to appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest. If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure that you are either transported or appear via video for your next hearing. But if you do bond out, it is your responsibility to appear, or a warrant will be issued for your arrest. Mr. Medina, do you understand the conditions of release I've imposed here today?
What if I can make bond? How would I get it?
You're gonna hold on a minute, Judge. If you're able to make the bond, your attorney is gonna help you figure that out. Okay, so when you leave here, you're gonna tell your attorney they're gonna come out with you about all that stuff. Okay. He's good. We're good.
All right, Mr. Medina, do you understand the consequences if you fail to show up for your hearing, that a warrant will issue for your arrest?
Yeah.
Okay, you're all done. You're all done for today, Mr. Medina. Yeah, I think. So jail, I know we talked about Mr. Grijalva being downtown, rather than continue this hearing because it is just a review hearing, what I would like to do is make sure he is aware that his next review hearing here is going to be June 16th at 9 on Grijalva. Dale, did you catch that?
Correct, Your Honor. We'll get him the paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of continuing him. Okay.
The bond is going to remain, it's at the Santa Cruz County warrant, so we'll just reset it for June 16th at 9.
Your Honor, did you want to go ahead with misdemeanors or did you want to get the interpreter matter out of the way?
If we could do Mr. Leal, that would be wonderful. I'm sure Mr. Davis would appreciate that as well.
Very much so. Thank you for your consideration, jail and staff.
Yeah. Sure you guys are in the all right place, please. Was investigation allowed it was.
We have a Spanish interpreter.
I can do it in English or Spanish, whatever.
Good morning,
Expect-
sir. We're going to use an interpreter today, so I'm going to have you wait until he interprets things before you answer. Tell me your name.
Miguel,
Hold on. Wait, interpreter.
Mr. Davis, you're muted.
Hey, tú, señor, ¿cómo se llama usted? Vamos a usar intérprete. Espera que el intérprete antes de responder usted. ¿Cómo se llama?
Miguel Ángel Leal.
Miguel Ángel Leal.
Mr. Leal, you are here today on a charge of unlawful flights from pursuing a law enforcement vehicle. You do have the right to
Señor Leal, se encuentra detenido por haber tratado de evadir persecución y detención de los agentes del orden público en patrulla.
You do have the
Sorry,
right.
Your Honor.
That's okay. You do have the right to remain silent on these charges. Anything you say kind of will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney on this felony case. Today, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today.
Tiene usted derecho a guardar silencio. Cualquier cosa que diga podrá y será usada en contra suya. Tiene derecho a tener representación de un licenciado o licenciada. Tenemos a su lado una licenciada abogada de oficio para que le ayude esta mañana.
I've had the opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services.
Ya tuve la oportunidad de recibir un informe que se preparó por la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio.
That report tells me that you also have a Nogales Justice Court case pending.
Yeah.
Este informe también dice que tiene pendiente una orden de detención y un caso pendiente en el juzgado de paz de Nogales, Arizona.
Sí.
That's correct.
We are here to talk about your conditions of release on this case. I've had a chance to review the state's recommendation. They're asking for a $25,000 bond.
Entonces, he revisado los datos del caso para determinar las condiciones de libertad provisional y la Fiscalía da su recomendación de fianza de $25,000 por lo que tiene pendiente.
State, did you want to be heard further?
Nothing in addition to our recommendation.
La Fiscalía está conforme con lo que recomendaron.
$25,000 para salir.
$25,000 to get released?
Ms. Priestman?
So what we're asking, Mr. Leal is born and raised in Nogales. He lives in Nogales. That is his permanent resident with his mother. He takes care of his mother. He is a shuttle driver down there.
Bueno, el señor Leal ha vivido toda su vida en Nogales, Arizona. Fue donde se crió. Él vive ahí con su madre, se encarga del cuidado de ella. Él es conductor de los fletes shuttle.
He was only recently here in Tucson looking for work. So we're asking that you release him to the supervision of pretrial services.
Y él solo ha estado aquí un breve tiempo buscando empleo. Lo que pedimos nosotros es que le deje salir de la custodia para que pase a ser supervisado por la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio, Pretrial Services.
It does look like there is a failure to appear on that Nogales case, and in looking at the criminal history, some of it pretty old, but Mr. Leal does appear to have a problem showing up to court when he's scheduled.
Lo que veo yo es que el caso que tiene pendiente en el condado de Santa Cruz tiene una falta de competencia en ese caso y buscando ver antecedentes, se ven algunos, aunque son bastante antiguos, pero sí parece que tiene ciertos problemas, señor Leal, en presentarse cuando se le ordena.
I do believe as a bond is appropriate, but the court is going to impose a $1,500 cash or secured bond today.
Sí pienso que se merita imponer una fianza, señor Leal. Puede exigirle fianza de 1,500, puede ser en dinero en efectivo o garantizado por propiedad.
If you post that bond, Mr. Leal, then you'll be released to pretrial services.
Si logra depositar la fianza, señor, y salir de custodia, pasará a la supervisión continua de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio, Pretrial Services.
You must check in with them as directed. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on.
Debe usted presentarse, reportarse cuando le digan. No podrá tener consumo ni posesión de licor, ni de droga ilícita, ni de armas de fuego mientras siga pendiente el caso.
Your next hearing in this matter is going to be May 27th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing.
Ahora, la siguiente audiencia está pactada para el 27 de mayo a la 1:30 para una audiencia preliminar.
That hearing may or may not occur, but you're expected to show up at all your future hearings, and if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest.
Esta audiencia posiblemente no se lleve a cabo. Se le hace responsable por presentarse en una audiencia que se en su caso. De no ser así, su orden de detención.
Do you understand the conditions of release that we've imposed today?
Entiende las consecuencias de lo que día de hoy, señor.
Sí,
Yes.
And do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear for your hearing?
Y en la teoría de la parte,
sí.
yes.
You're all done for today, Mr. Leal.
Es todo por hoy, señor Leal. Puede retirarse.
I'm gonna get steps speaking where. Scotch to the jail. Posted bond.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Davis,
And-
that's all of our Spanish speakers. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thanks to all.
In the middle, all the way around to the first. That. Oh. Your rights, you're gonna be first, sir. You guys have a sequence, right there, sir. Please. Have a seat, sir.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Jared Dakota Choites.
Mr. Toitz, you are here today on charges of disorderly conduct and assault. These are misdemeanor charges. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. This is the time for your initial appearance, and we need to talk about conditions of release today. I have had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They prepared a report for the court that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances of the offense. If I release you today, sir, two things. One, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes.
And the second
Okay.
thing is at this time, your mom is the victim of this case and you are not going to be allowed to return to see her or to where she is living. Do you live with your mom?
I do. Yeah, we were staying in the same place.
Do you have somewhere?
Uh,
You'll,
Someplace else to stay?
not that I know of.
sir, if I release you today, you're going to have to find some other place to stay because you can't go back to your mom's. You can ask the court to change that in the future, or she can, but today, because we weren't able to contact her, you're not going to be allowed to go back to the house.
Okay.
So do you have a friend or some other family member that you can stay with for a short time?
I'm sure. Yeah, I know a couple friends I can probably hang out with.
Okay, all right. So with that, Mr. Choice, I am going to release you today on your promise to appear. You are not, as I've said, to have any contact with your mom. Don't return to the incident location or where she's living or working until there's another order of the court. Do not commit any acts of domestic violence. Do you need to return to the house to pick up any of your belongings?
No.
Okay. Okay, well, if that changes, you're not allowed to go back there. So you'll need to talk with the judge. Your next hearing is going to be May 27th at 10:30. So that's going to be a couple of weeks, and that'll be here at Pima County Justice Court. You do need to appear at that date and time. If you do not appear, the court will issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the conditions I've imposed today, Mr. Choice?
Yes.
And do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear for your court hearing?
Yeah.
All right, you're all done for today, sir.
That's your court date, okay? Make sure you get to court, that's good.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
I'll read. To your next, choice, left hand side, all the way down. So now, yep.
Morning.
Good morning, tell me your name.
Daniel Del Rio.
What's your middle
Or
name?
Daniel Anthony Del Rio.
You are here this morning, Mr. Del Rio, on charges of disorderly conduct and criminal damage. They are domestic violence offenses. These are misdemeanors. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report for me that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances. The victims in this case are your parents, and at this time they are willing to continue to have contact with you. So 2 things, Mr. Del Rio, if I release you today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Oh, yes.
And then the other condition of release is that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. Will you promise to do that as well? All right, I'm going to release you today on your promise to appear. Your condition of release is that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. Your next court date is going to be May 27th at 10:30 at Pima County Justice Court. You are required to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand? All right, so you understand those consequences if you don't show up for court? All right, I think Ms. Priestman there will have the date written down for you, and when you get released from the jail, you should also get your paperwork. You're all done for today. Yes, they are allowing you to go back to the house, so at this time, you may do that.
Escobedo. Is that what I said? Yeah, sound steps like that said. Yes.
Hi, sir, tell me your name.
Miguel Escobedo?
Mr. Escobedo, you're here today on charges out of Sarita Municipal Court involving disorderly conduct, 2 counts, and criminal damage. These are domestic violence offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. Looks like your girlfriend is the victim in this matter. She has indicated that you are welcome to return home, or you're welcome to have further contact with them. I guess you don't live in the same place. If I release you today, Mr. Escobedo, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I should also add that I did receive the Form 4C on this case, the intimate partner risk assessment, and I have taken that into consideration for my conditions of release today. So given that Ms. Sanchez is willing to have contact with you, the other order I will enter today is that you are not to commit any acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, ma'am.
So you will be released today. Your next court date is going to be June 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That's going to be at Sarita Municipal Court. You do have to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Is there a, do I need a hire lawyer? So it's court date, so I'll be out of town for work that week.
When you
So
get
it-
When you get released later today, the address and phone number for Sarita Municipal Court will be on there. You can contact them and ask them to adjust that date. All right,
Okay. Sounds good. Yes, ma'am.
you're all done for today.
Thank you.
Cody Lane.
Very good.
Okay, sir, tell me your name.
Cody Lane?
Is your middle name Brent?
Yes.
All right, you are here today on a charge involving preventing or use of an electronic device to threaten someone. It is a domestic violence offense. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. This is the time for us to talk about your conditions of release on this matter. The court has considered the pretrial services report. That's a report that they prepare for the court, sir, that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. The victim in this case is your former girlfriend, Miss Miles. She is objecting to your release. She does not want to have any contact with you at all. The court has also considered the Form 4C, the intimate partner risk assessment that was completed by law enforcement, and I'm taking that into consideration today. So, Mr. Lane, a couple of things. One, if I do release you today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes.
The other thing you will not be permitted to do if I release you today is have any contact of any kind with Miss Miles. None. No social media, no texting, no phone calls, and you absolutely aren't allowed to go anywhere near where she is living or working. Do you understand all those conditions?
I do.
And are you willing to abide by those if I release you
Yes.
today? Right. I am going to release you on your promise to appear. Your next court date is going to be May 27th at 8:30 at Pima County Justice Court. You are required to appear at that hearing. If you do not appear, they will issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear?
I do.
Ms. Priestman is writing down that date for you, but when you get released today, you're also going to get a copy of your paperwork. It'll have the date and time and address and phone number for the court that you're scheduled to appear at. Also reiterates the conditions we talked about today. You're all done for today.
Thank you.
Stephen Mitchell.
And just how
Officer for the defense.
Hi, tell me your name.
Stephen Mitchell.
You are here this morning on charges of disorderly conduct and assault. There's 2 counts of disorderly conduct. They are all domestic violence related. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Jail, do you note any kind of probation hold for Mr. Mitchell?
We do not see when you're on or no.
So, Mr. Mitchell, I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. That's how I was aware that you were on probation in this case. If I release you today, Mr. Mitchell, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes, ma'am.
In the report, it does look like Miss Morales Garza has indicated that she does not want any further contact with you at all. I don't know what your probation conditions are, but it does appear that both she and your minor age child are the victims in your felony case that you're on probation for. So I would imagine your probation officer also has conditions for you that don't allow you all to have contact. So if I release you, you're going to have to stay away from her. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And also the minor age child that's listed as a victim. Do you understand that as well?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to release you today. And your next court date is going to be May 27th at 10:30 in the morning, and that is going to be at Pima County Justice Court. You are required to appear on that date and time, and if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes.
When you get released today, you must contact your probation officer. You're going to be released today before 5. You must contact your probation officer today when you get out. Do you understand that?
Yes. Can it wait till I get home? Because I don't have a cell phone, so I'd have to use my mom's.
I'm going to order you to contact probation today, even if that means leaving them a message when you get home, but you need to contact them today.
Okay.
All right, that's the order. That's what you need to abide by. Additionally, you're not to commit any acts of domestic violence. You are not allowed to have any contact with the victims in this case. That's Miss Morales Garza and the minor age child. Do not go anywhere near where they are living or working. You are not allowed to have any contact. Don't text them. Don't use a third party to have contact with them. Do not have any contact with her at all or the child. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
All right. When you get released later today, you're going to get a copy of your court paperwork. I think Ms. Priestman did also write down information for your court dates. Get that paperwork when you leave court today and make sure you show up. You're all done for today, sir.
Thank you.
Robinson.
Just a minute, sir. All right, tell me your name.
Caleb Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, you are here today on charges of assault, a single charge of assault. It is a domestic violence related offense. This is a misdemeanor. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. I've had an opportunity to review information that pretrial services has provided. That report tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense in this case. Jail, are you showing a probation hold on this one?
We are not, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Robinson, if I release you today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes.
You're also going to have to contact your probation officer when you get released. Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
All right.
My phone is being held in evidence right now.
When you get released, can you use somebody else's phone?
I can, yeah, I just
Or
don't.
just go over there?
I could. I just don't know his number. I have his emails and stuff, but I'll figure out a way to contact him as soon as I get out.
Ms. Priestman, do you guys have probation information there? Is there cards or anything there about how they can contact them?
No, but maybe they'll give him his phone back when you're released. They took your phone
As evidence.
as evidence?
Yeah,
Um,
not going to get that.
is over time, will I get that back when the stuff is done or?
Well, that's
No, specific,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's something that you'll have to talk with them down the road. So for today, I also need to note that I did consider the Form 4C, the intimate partner risk assessment, for conditions of release here today. So Mr. Robinson, I am going to release you on your promise to appear at a court date. You'll show up on the next court date that I give you. Is that right?
Yes.
Your conditions of release are that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. It does look like your girlfriend at this time has said that she does not object to your release, and you are welcome to have contact with her. So the only condition you have is not committing any acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that condition?
Yes.
And also getting a hold of your probation officer when you get released. So your next court date is going to be May 27th at 10:30. That's going to be at Pima County Justice Court. You are required to appear at that date and time. If you don't, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that, Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
You're all done for today.
Thank you.
Folks, everybody on the side, no cell floor.
Around here. But mostly you're gonna be the first man in that brown chair, everybody else just have a seat. See you guys, swing around.
Morning, sir. Tell me your name. Mr. Espinoza, you are here on multiple matters today. The first is a felony charge of possession of a dangerous drug. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You are entitled to an attorney on this matter. At this time, I'm appointing the legal defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. We're also going to be talking about a shoplifting warrant out of Pima County Justice Court dating back to 2023. And then there are Tucson City Court warrants out for your arrest, as well as a couple of new charges on that as well that we're going to be talking about here today. I've had the opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. In reviewing that report, it tells me that, and actually looking at the state's recommendation, it looks like the state's going to be dismissing the felony charge. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. So the felony drug charge is going to be dismissed. So we don't have to talk about that one now. Mr. Espinoza, do you have a place to stay right now?
He stays with his mother.
I help her. She's you know what I mean? And she needs help in the house. You know, to cook for her and stuff.
So, Mr. Espinoza, if I release you on your justice court and city court matters, you have to go to court to get those things resolved. They're not going to go away. Do you understand? All right. I am on the justice court case. There was a warrant for your arrest on that one. It looks like the warrant amount was for $2,499. I am going to release you today on your promise to appear on this case. You must come to justice court on May 27th at 9:30 in the morning. If you don't show up, they're going to issue another warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that?
I stopped and actually, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get you hold that now if you're up. And then I'm gonna take care of the mom, you know.
Good. Well, if you want to continue to take care of your mom, you better get this taken care of or you're going to find yourself back in jail. So on this case, Mr. Espinoza, do not return to wherever you did the shoplifting. Don't go back there. There are victims at that location and you can't be there. Do you understand that? Okay, now we need to talk about your Tucson City Court case. I am going to release you on the Tucson City Court cases as well. You do have failures to appear for possession of prescription drugs and drug paraphernalia and consuming liquor in public. Looks like there's new charges involving criminal trespass and drug paraphernalia. On those new charges, in addition to your initial appearance today, it's the time for your arraignment. So I am going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. I am also going to, hang on. Enter not guilty pleas on your behalf because you are presumed innocent on those. You are not allowed to return to the incident location wherever the criminal trespass took place and have any contact with the victims who were there. So don't go back to that place. All right, your next court hearing in Tucson City Court is not going to be until June 16th at 9:30. You must go to that court date. Ms. Priestman's writing it down for you, and when you get released today, you're going to get a copy of your court paperwork that'll have the court date and time and the address. That's also downtown, so if you're here every day, it should be easy for you to get to that hearing. Good. Well, all of your matters will be heard on that day and time. If you fail to appear for that hearing, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence. If they go forward with the hearing in your absence, they could set future hearings, including a trial. And if you can't be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences if you don't show up in city court? All right, you're all done for today, Mr. Espinoza. Go to court.
See you later.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Adrian Floor.
Mr. Floor, you were here on a warrant out of Maricopa County Superior Court. Looks like it's on a theft charge. There is a $1,500 bond amount on that warrant. Jail, are you showing any holds? It looks like he has a couple of different cases and a felony probation. He's on felony probation.
No, it's not.
I'm trying to go get that.
Sorry, sir, hang on. I need to hear the jail and I cannot hear them. Hang on. Jail, did you say no holds? Okay. So, Mr. Floor, today I am going to impose the $1,500 cash or secured bond amount that is on the warrant out of Maricopa County Superior Court. I am going to set a review hearing for you here on June 16th at 9 o'clock. What should happen is if you don't have any holds here, they're going to notify Maricopa County. The Pima County Jail will notify Maricopa County that you're in custody on this warrant. If you post the bond and get released, you must contact Maricopa County Superior Court to get this case resolved. It's not going to go away. If you are still in custody for any reason here, we're going to have a review hearing on June 16th at 9, just like we're doing here today, so that we can make sure that you aren't just sitting here at the Pima County Jail. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am. Would this affect my probation or anything like?
I don't know. Right. I don't know the answer to that. So you've got this Maricopa County case that you have to get resolved. I'm imposing the $1,500 bond today. If you post the bond, then you can get released, but you have to contact Maricopa County. You also, whenever you get released, should talk with your probation officer about the fact that this is going on. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're all done for today.
Adrian.
That's the one too.
Right. Absolutely. I'll call him.
Michael Paul? Yep, all the way up, while I can say nonsense.
Hey, sir, tell me your name.
Michael Jandruski.
Mr. Jandruski, you are here today on a charge of criminal damage. It is a felony offense. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. Today, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of this offense. I've also had a chance to review the state's recommendation. They're asking for a $5,000 bond. Did you want to be heard further?
Yes, Your Honor. In the $5,000 bond is primarily because this is an offense that is a danger to the public. These charges arise out of an alleged DUI, and there seems to be a very significant history with alcohol. That's why the state is asking for a $5,000 bond.
Ms. Priestman, I am inclined to impose a bond on this case. I do understand that some of the criminal history is older, but that's not as compelling given the fact that there's, I think, at least 2 or more. So that is my inclination. Did you want to be heard?
I do. So, Mr. Jandruski is retired. He is a school teacher. He's a high school teacher at Choya High School. He lives at a home, his own home. He has a dog there that, we don't know what we're gonna do about that because he doesn't have any of his numbers because they took his phone. So he can't call his sister, who would be the person that he would be able to call. So we're kind of having a problem. But anyway, he is asking to be released under the supervision of pretrial services. If you're going to have a bond, maybe a $200 or $300 bond, and maybe we could try to figure out somebody that would be able to pay that so that he could take care of his dog. But he's willing to like not drive, to be breathalyzed as many times as the court deems necessary, and under whatever, house arrest type of conditions the court thinks is necessary to protect the community.
I am going to impose a $5,000 cash or secured bond today. Mr. Jandruski, if you post that bond, then you'll be released to pretrial services. You are required to check in with that agency as scheduled, participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. This is an alcohol-related offense. You will be required to submit to alcohol monitoring. You are not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not drive without a valid license. You can't have any firearms while this case is going on. Do not return to the incident location where the criminal damage occurred. That's where the victims are. Do you understand all those conditions of release, sir?
$5,000 bond.
That's what I have to come up with.
That's what you have to come up with.
Um,
And your lawyer's gonna come out and see you. Do you understand?
I think so, yeah, as long as I can, like we talked before, to get my billfold back that has a credit
Yes,
card.
I
I have to do
understand.
that.
Mr. Jandruski, I need you to confirm with me that you understand the conditions of release that I've imposed today.
I understand,
Okay,
there's,
you don't have to like them. I just need to know that you understand the condition.
I understand the conditions.
Your next court date is going to be May 27th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future court dates. If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure that you appear for your next date, but if you post bond and get released, you must stay in contact with your attorney so you're aware of any court date changes. If you do not show up for court, they can issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that consequence if you fail to appear for your hearing?
I understand that.
Right.
May I ask a question?
You can ask me.
Oh,
What?
when do I have to,
Your lawyer's gonna come out and talk to you about paying that,
okay,
okay? About the ways that you can make that happen, okay? All right. We're good.
Thank you. You're all done for today.
I'll wait on it.
Johnstone. Others. Nobody else is the office.
Jeffrey Johnson. Okay. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
Okay.
I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you. Just talk to you.
Morning, sir. Tell me your name.
Jeffrey Johnstone?
Is your middle name Paul?
Yes.
All right. You are here today, sir, for an initial appearance on charges of possession of dangerous drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent on these charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney on this case. Today, I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided to me by pretrial services. They prepare a report that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances of the offense. Based on the nature of this offense, sir, that's what we refer to as personal possession drug charges, you may be eligible to participate in a pre-indictment diversion program. If you qualify for that program, it means that the state would not go forward with these felony charges if you successfully complete it. It would require that you agree to participate in substance abuse treatment. Are you willing to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. With that, counsel, I'm inclined to release him to pretrial services, give him his step hearing date next week. Ms. Priestman, are we willing to waive time for the preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Right. So, sir, I am going to release you today to the custody of pretrial services.
Okay.
You are going to be required to stay in contact with that agency and participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You are not allowed to have any alcohol. Do not possess any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. Your next court date is going to be next week. It's going to be May 22nd at 9:00. That will be at Pima County Superior Court on the 3rd floor. Ms. Priestman will write that down for you. It's going to be in front of Judge Hampson. At that hearing, you'll have a chance to meet with your attorney that handles the pre-indictment diversion program. Pretrial services will be in the courtroom, and also providers from our community for substance abuse treatment. So if you do qualify, you'll find out about it that day, and they'll go ahead and sign you up. Your next hearing after the one next week, which is very important for you to go to, is your preliminary hearing. That one we're going to set out a little bit. That one will be June 30th at 1:30. That hearing may or may not occur, depending upon what happens with your eligibility for the diversion program. But if you fail to appear for future court dates, they can issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay, that hearing next week at 9, please make sure you show up at 9:00 so that you get an opportunity to meet with everyone in the courtroom to see if you're eligible. It's really important for your participation to be there. Do you understand all those conditions of release I gave you today?
Yes, I do.
Right, you're all done for today.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Valerie Lundgren.
Hi, ma'am, tell me your name.
Valerie Lundgren.
Ms. Lundgren, you were here today on charges of possession of dangerous drug, possession of a narcotic drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia. These are felony offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. Today, I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing. We're here to talk about your conditions of release today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report for the court that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances of the offense. I am inclined to release Ms. Lundgren to pretrial and give her the steps review hearing date next week. Does either party wish to be heard?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
So Ms. Lundgren, based on the nature of the charges, the drug charges, you may be eligible to participate in a pre-indictment diversion program. It's called STEPS. If you qualify for the program and successfully complete it, then the state would not go forward with these felony charges, but you have to agree to participate in substance abuse treatment. Is that something that you would be willing to do?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to give you a hearing date of next week, May 22nd at 9 a.m. That hearing is going to take place on the 3rd floor of Superior Court in front of Judge Hampson. At that court hearing, you'll meet with your public defender. Pretrial services will be there, who you're going to have to stay in contact with. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then also treatment providers from our community. If you qualify for the program, you'll have an opportunity to set everything up right there. It is very important that you go to that hearing if you want to be eligible. Do you understand?
Yes.
Your conditions of release are being released to pretrial services. That means you must stay in contact with that agency, participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You cannot possess or consume any alcohol, obviously no illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. Ms. Priestman, are we willing to waive time for the PH?
Yes.
So after that hearing next week, the next hearing for your case is going to be a preliminary hearing, and that will take place on June 30th at 1:30. That hearing may or may not occur, but you have to show up for all your future court dates. If you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that, Ms. Lundgren?
Yes.
All right. You're all done for today. Make sure you get to that hearing next week.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, go to the hearing. Thank you. Okay.
McComb.
Hey, Sarah, tell me your name.
Christopher James McComb.
Mr. McComb, you were here on a warrant out of Nogales. Looks like for narcotic drug possession or use. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. I will note that this does appear to be an older matter. The bond amount on the warrant is $300. If I release you on this case today, Mr. McComb, will you promise to get in contact with Nogales Justice Court so you can get this taken care of?
Absolutely.
All right. It doesn't look like it's proceeded to felony charges in Santa Cruz County, but it may have. I can't really tell from the way the warrant is worded. So it could be Santa Cruz County Superior Court. Wherever it is, you do need to contact them. When you get released later today, I do have the Nogales Justice Court case number written on the court paperwork. That should help you. The warrant was issued on December 5th of 2024. So I'm going to release you today on this matter. And you do need to contact them so you can get your court date in the future for them and get this taken care of. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
You're all done for today.
Okay. They got it.
Yeah, go down there, take care of it.
Okay. Thank you. Right.
Hey, sir, tell me your name.
My name is Brady Ryhart.
Hang on just a second. All right, Mr. Reinhardt, you are here on a few different matters today. You're here on a felony charge of being in possession of a firearm as a prohibited possessor. There are also warrants out of Justice Court, and we have warrants out of City Court that we need to talk about today. You do have the right to remain silent on all of these charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. On the felony case, you do have the right to have an attorney. I am going to appoint the legal defender's office to represent you in that case. You do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing today. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you as well as the circumstances of the offense. I've also had a chance to review the state's recommendation as to your conditions of release. They're asking for a $10,000 bond. I was inclined to impose a $7,500 cash or secured bond today on this matter and bonds on the other matters as well. State need to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Priestman?
So Judge, Mr. Reinhardt tells me that in the Cochise County, or is it Santa Cruz County or Cochise County? Cochise County cases, he's on IPS up here. There's a courtesy supervision. So he's on IPS. His PO is Jason Matthews. He is residing up here. I don't see a probation hold, but I don't know if there will be a probation hold at some point. He's been on IPS up here for those same charges that he's got on his criminal history. So I don't know what the new ones are or if they're old or something left over. But anyway, he has a full-time job at L&L Manufacturing components. He has a place to live. He's in compliance with his probation officer. I think Rika Myers is the person who's supervising you next.
Yeah, my
Oh, tell me.
I'm sorry, yes, my current PO is.
Okay. And then, so what we're asking you to do, because he's pre-indictment on this prohibited possessor case, we're asking you to release him back on his probation conditions, IPS conditions.
I am going to impose a bond on this case today, $7,500 cash or secured. Jail, I'm assuming you don't have a probation hold yet?
We do not, Your Honor.
Right. If you post that bond, Mr. Reinhardt, then you would be released to pretrial services. You have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you are not permitted to have any firearms for any reason ever. The next hearing date for you is going to be May 27th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand the conditions of release for your felony case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear?
Yes.
I would imagine probation will get notice that you are in custody, and I would imagine that they will come see you. And then let's talk about the warrant out of Cochise County does have a $1,500 bond amount on it. I am inclined to impose that today. And as Ms. Priestman said, this does not appear to be a holdover from what you were on probation for, but hopefully your attorney can get that resolved for you. Today I am going to enter a $1,500 cash or secured bond that has to be in addition to the $7,500 that the court previously imposed. I'm going to set a review hearing for you here. So the purpose of that is once Cochise County knows that you've been picked up on the warrant, then they could come get you, Mr. Reihart, but you're going to have some things here in Pima County to resolve first. So review hearing date is going to be June 16th at 9. If you find yourself still in custody at the Pima County Jail, then we'll do just what we're doing here today to review this bond amount and make sure that that matter has been taken care of. Do you understand the reason for that review hearing?
Yeah.
All right. And then finally, we do need to talk about your city court case as well. It's a theft or shoplifting matter. And it looks like a warrant was issued for your arrest back in January of 2024. So this has been pending a while. I am going to impose a $50 cash or secured bond on that matter, appoint the city public defender's office to represent you in that case. If you do post that bond and get released on these things, don't go back to the incident location where the shoplifting occurred. The victims are there and you can't have any contact with them. Your next hearing on the city court case is going to be a video review hearing May 23rd at 1:45 in front of Judge Farena if you are still in custody. So you'll appear via video, much like you're doing today with Judge Farena, so you can get the city court matter resolved. If you post bond and get released, your next court date in city court will be June 16th at 2:30 in front of Judge Farena. Whenever you do get released, Mr. Reihart, you will have court paperwork. I know Ms. Priestman wrote down the dates for you, but we'll also make sure that the jail gives you that paperwork so you have the future court date and time for that city court case. If you do fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest in all of these courts. Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear?
Yeah.
All right, you're all done for today.
So call your legal defender and then they're gonna get everything sorted out for you, okay?
Okay, so like
Today.
okay.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, call later.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Tarver,
Hi, sir, tell me your name.
Darian Tarver,
Mr. Tarver, you are here on multiple matters here today. One is a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court for failing to appear for an initial appearance and arraignment on an aggravated assault count. That's a class 4 felony. You're also here on a warrant out of Oro Valley for offenses that occurred March of 2025, disorderly conduct, obstructing, and criminal trespass. And then you also have Tucson City Court matters to talk about today. Looks like those are new charges, so we will talk about those here in a minute. You do have the right to remain silent on all these cases. Anything you say can and will be used against you. On the felony matter, you do have the right to an attorney. Today, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. I have had a chance to review the state's recommendation as to your conditions of release as well. They are recommending the $1,000 bond that's on the warrant. That is my inclination. Did the state need to be heard further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Priestman?
So Judge, Mr. Tarver's asking that to be released to pretrial services, give him another chance to be in compliance and go to court. He tells me that back in March, when he missed his arraignment, he did have medical issues that he was dealing with. He does, he can reside with his cousin's mother, and her name is Nija. I think that's on the pretrial services report. court. So he's asking to be released under the supervision of pretrial, give him another chance to show up.
Looks like there, according to the information I have from pretrial, is there is a couple different opportunities for him to show up previously. So I am going to impose the $1,000 cash or secured bond today. If you do post that bond, Mr. Tarver, then you need to report to pretrial services as directed, participate in any monitoring or treatment they may require. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms. Also, no contact with the victim in this case. Your next court date on this felony matter is going to be May 22nd at 1:30. That is your arraignment. If you do remain in custody, the jail will make sure that you appear likely via video, much like you're doing here today for that hearing. If you post bond and get released, it's your responsibility to show up to court for the arraignment. And if you don't, they'll issue another warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes,
Do you understand the conditions of release I've imposed today?
yes, I understand.
All right, now we need to talk about the Oro Valley matter. I am going to impose a bond on that matter. It's going to be a $250 cash or secured bond. I'm going to appoint Richard Glenn to represent you in that case. If you post the bond in that case and get released, don't have any contact with the victim and do not return to the incident location. Your next hearing will also be, if you're in custody, a video review hearing on May 21st at 10:30. If you do post your bond, your hearing at Oro Valley City Court will be June 11th at 10:30. You are required to appear. They'll issue more warrants for you. Do you understand, Mr. Tarver?
Yes,
And then finally, your city court matter. This was current charges, and it was for obstructing, refusing to provide your truthful name, and also being in the parks after hours. This is the time for your initial appearance and arraignment on those charges. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas for you. You are presumed innocent. On that case, I am going to impose a $50 cash or secured bond, appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. Don't go back to that park. Your next hearing for Tucson City Court is going to be May 23rd at 1:45. That will be in front of Judge Mayhew. And then again, if you get released, your next hearing is going to be June 17th at 9:30. And again, when you get released, you'll get copies of the paperwork, so that will have all of your court dates on it. Do you understand all of the conditions that I've imposed for you today on these cases?
yes, I understand.
And if you don't show up in city court, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing and future hearings in your absence if you don't show up. They could set a trial in your absence, and if you get convicted and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose your right to an appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences in your Tucson City Court case if you fail to appear?
Yes.
Done for today, Mr. Tarver. All right, everyone, we are done for the day. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.